This land is your land. This land is my land. From California, well, to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf.
Welcome to Markie's World, and I'm Markie Shinn, your host. Today's guest is Revin Fellows, and he's going to tell us some of the programs that he's been participating in, and he wants to share with you all. It's just a wonderful thing because I always bump into you.
Yes, that means you get around, because I'm everywhere.
I know. And you know, one of my main things is to make sure if I have the opportunity to put things on television, I want to be able to put good content, you know, for people that are trying to find out what's going on, and they need help. A lot of people need help, you know, and they don't know where to go to. So tell me, Revin, you know, I thought for a long time your name was Reverend.
Yeah, and I tell people don't curse me with that. That was my granddad. A lot of responsibility with that pastor stuff.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. So tell me, what are you into right now? Let's talk about some of the programs that you're into.
Wow. Where do I start? First of all, let me thank you for being patient, because you've been trying to get me on your show for a while.
Sure have.
And no disrespect, it's an honor to be on the show. I'm busy trying to save the world, I tell people. And $2.15, I'm going to get us there at one point. But with that being said, it's just an honor for you to ask me and feel that I'm worthy of being on your show. And so humbly I'm here. Just want to be able to let people know what I'm doing and what I've been doing to the glory of God, the living, the dead, and the unborn, as my mentor, Reverend Dr. Charles Smith, who was my mentor. He's the founder of the African American Heritage Museum and Black Veterans Archives. He's a Vietnam combat vet that I met after I graduated from college in 1987. And he had an outside sculpture garden museum that people say he was a crazy man on the corner. You know how we call it gypsy yards here.
Oh, yeah.
But in Aurora, he had a lot of rubbish, so he take recycling stuff and turn it into art.
Oh, yeah.
So I met him, and he started to tell me about the history. I just graduated from college, and he's been my mentor and teacher, so I want to give him a lot of kudos for me continuing my work. Dr. Charles Smith of the African American Heritage Museum, one of the top folk artists in the world. Google him.
And then you know, I'm sure that you're mentoring other people too.
Well, that's a good lead-in.
You mentor me too.
Oh, that's what it is. Well, we always have an in-depth conversation.
I mentor you because, you know, he's so shy. I'm bringing him out.
Yeah, I tell people I got low self-esteem, but it's just a joke.
No, it's a joke.
But it's my alter ego. When I'm really shy, but when I'm in my world of helping people and playing ball or doing my zone, it's a whole nother zone dancing. I forget everybody there and just go for it. But you mentioned mentoring. I lead off with one of the programs I'm the co-founder of, CEO, called Books Over Balls. Books Over Balls. The concept is using basketball to get them in and then make sure they graduate. Okay. So I was blessed. I attended Simeon High School, where I played for Coach Bob Hambrick, one of the winningest teams in the history of Chicago in basketball. And I did pretty well, and I helped them put them in the red. I was the point guard and captain. I was one of the top few point guards in the state of Illinois that put Simeon on the map.
Let me ask you this question. I just want to say that because I want to double check on something. I want to make sure I get everything. Oh, okay.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted, you know, something.
Yeah, the technology ain't Jesus.
Well, it's not so much that, it's my memory.
Oh, check, double check. Hey, you gotta get that clap on, clap on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Memory is going.
Hey.
I only look good at, you know, inside here is a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, you know, as you know a lot, you can forget a lot. Some of you don't even want to remember knowing.
Yeah, that's.
But in the digital world, I know where you're at. So, as I was saying, Books Over Balls is a program. God allowed me to get 2 college degrees playing basketball.
Oh, okay.
So I played 2 years Olive Harvey College. Went on to Royal University, played 2 years, got a degree in education. and began to coach. And when Ben Wilson, the young man in Simeon, was murdered outside of Simeon, who I mentored, my brother was at Simeon as a freshman, and so I was going to go overseas and play basketball, and God told me, go get your brother from your mama before she hurt him or kill him, because she's not going to take that peer pressure and all this going on.
Yeah.
So I rescued my brother from my mother to be able to put him through high school and college, and he's married now and doing great. So that is my role model, Bernard Fellows. That's my brother.
Oh, okay.
And so Books Over Balls is a concept again. I'm also a certified teacher, phys ed teacher, and then also did gang prevention, and then also worked for Family Focus. I've been in social service for 30 years.
Wow.
Family Focus, Lawndale, teen pregnancy, gang prevention, first time mom, second time mom, grandparent raising grandchildren, 0 to 3. So we had a wraparound program. So
I
when I
know
left,
so much to you.
oh yes. So when I left Family Focus maybe 6 years ago, I stepped away and started my own non-for-profit. And I met a couple of brothers that was looking for some things. So we came together and we formed an organization called Books Over Balls. And so the concept is basketball is the carrot.
Oh, okay.
But you got to graduate. So we've been successful, put over 100 black boys in college.
Oh, wow.
Actually did it with no funding. We took 15 black boys to the White House to visit Obama. We were called there to talk about violence prevention. And so we now...
That's very impressive.
Well, thank you. God allowed us to do that without funding. We also responsible for having Magic Johnson, helped Magic Johnson start his first 2 schools, Magic Johnson Bridgegate. One was in Lawndale, so I worked in Lawndale 15 years, so Books Over Balls, we helped him cultivate that because I know the community.
Okay.
And then he was at South, she was over in South Shore, 71st right over there, but they moved it to Roseland. But we were at South Shore, Rainbow Beach, so we were able to recruit over 150 students of the 300 that Magic and started his first 2 schools. And one of our students that was homeless, and I knew his dad, and he was homeschooled, he gave a speech to introduce Magic and made Magic cry for 15 minutes on the spot. And Magic said, if you graduate, I'm going to give you a full ride. He graduated the next year or so, and Magic gave him a full ride to Morehouse College, signed it.
Anything is possible.
So that's my mentoring part, and we're doing well. And we're in Ogden Park, and we're going to be over in State Representative LaShawn K. Ford, 8th District, who's a good friend of mine. We're going to be over there, Books Over. So we'll be in Woodlawn. We'll be in Ogden, where we've been for the last 4 years, and we'll be in Austin area.
Oh, okay.
And so we take it on the road. So the other thing, I have another arm. I'm in the business. I'm a co-founder of the Bob Biz Center, 644 East 79th Street.
Now you know that's where we met.
Yes.
And you were on my show. I don't know if you saw it. You were on my show.
Yes, I was. Right, we was on the second floor.
You was on.
I didn't get a chance to see that show.
Yeah, you were on
but you
my
did
show.
bring me on the talk. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you got something on my track record.
You're right.
But I was instrumental, and then again, I hope people don't confuse my confidence as arrogance, because I do what I say and I say what I mean, and my word is my bond. And I'm Geraldine's integrity and my daddy's honor. So I ain't gonna mess it up for nobody.
And Markie's friend.
That's right. So the Bob Biz Center is Brother Roland Davis and Dr. Murphy and Wendy Evans and a host of us. We got hold to that building about 2.5 years now, maybe 3. And it was the old Tiger Lounge that used to be the club where everybody goes Stroger and all the big rollers. I used to sneak in there one time when I got a little older. But that's where they decided, in that place where they partied at, all the big rollers, Seaway Bank, Independence Bank, that whole Chatham economic engine come out of the thought process of where those older guys used to hang out and talk about not just party but have a purpose. And so I come from Chatham. I grew up on 86 in Ingleside. So it's fitting that I go to college and come back home, and God allowed me to start Books Over Balls to put young men in college, and then become part of a business center that we started with 15 black businesses in our incubator, and we launched 8 black businesses in 2 years with no government funding, no TIF, no empowerment zone, no funding. And thanks to Brother Roll Davis and the science of his wisdom in organized funding, and my political strategic strategy in organizing the political in the community. So with that, we have the Bob Biz Center. business center, building our prosperity.
Right, and these are not-for-profit
Yes.
organizations.
Yes, non-for-profit.
We have to make that clear. But and that's something that the city of Chicago is looking forward to hearing about businesses like that.
Well, actually, we have a model proof of concept. We're probably you won't find too many people that start in a business and take 15 in and launch 8 in 2.5 years. That's almost unheard of.
Wow.
Between Cottage Grove and 79th, and between Ellis and King Drive, we launched those businesses.
Wow.
Blackmall.com, Tori Muhammad with the tax program. So we launched several businesses down there, and we're going more. And we're proud to say we're going to open up a new BOP center on 79th and Yates.
Oh, well, keep me informed
Medical
about
center.
that.
Yes, so we have a grand opening. Make sure you're there so you'll be right on the spot.
Oh,
You got an inside scoop from the media from me.
Woo-hoo.
And we're going to be down there on the end. And then I'm also the self-proclaimed governor. I grew up on 79th and Exchange. Grew up in Chatham. But from Rainbow to Cicero, I'm the self-proclaimed governor of the new Blacknificent Miles. Miles and miles of thriving black business from Rainbow to Cicero.
See that, and you heard it here first, because when are you going to get a chance to meet this governor?
Yeah.
Now the world is going to meet him.
Hey, shake my hand. But one thing I want to be touchable to young people, to our community. I'm a hands-on person. So we've been blessed to do that, and it's been a great thing. And so I look down the corridor, there's all black elected officials, so they could use an economic engine. And we believe if we go down 79th with economics, it'll filter out the community to rid crime. So we also have Project 5000, which we're buying up 5,000 new affordable homes and property, and we rehabbing it with young men, called our Busy Man Construction.
Oh, okay. Now these young men, where do you get them from?
Well, they reentry guys that formerly incarcerated,
Okay.
and we take them on and help them, and they help rehab that, and then they train at the same time on the property. So we flip it over, and so that's part of our engine to take over the community.
Boosting a black man's self-esteem.
Yes, and as Dr. Murphy, my mentor, we also have the New Life Movement, which is not it's a spiritual movement, not a church. It's the New Life Movement, and what Dr. Murphy, he's over Busy Man, say, get busy, man.
Oh, yeah, I like to get busy, man.
That way you ain't in no crime.
Right.
And we believe we're going to stop crime. We're going to kill crime with a job or a business.
Yeah,
That's what we're going to do, because nobody going to hire young
What did
people
they say?
but us.
Idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yes, and there's a lot of devil stuff going on with the internet.
Yeah.
It did up the game.
Yeah, that is true.
So you got out now, you can be on your phone and just be losing your mind at the same time.
Yeah, well, you know, there's something else that we have to work on is these children coming up missing. A lot of black women.
Yeah, and which brings me to my activist hat. On the other end, I do some community organizing and lobbying. I do some lobbying in Springfield, help write bills. Resource for State Rep LaShawn K. Ford. I've been doing that for about 14 years and writing legislation in Springfield. I'm one of the authors of the bill to put blacks to work in state. It's the African American Employment Plan 2014, signed into law. There's a law to hire black people in state government. Compliments of Brother Revin Fellows, Green Acres, and my good friend, our CEO, Will Birch of Green Acres. And so that's a bill to governor. So if you're looking for a job, go down to CMS, down in the state of Illinois, fill out an application. There's a rule that they have to have so many blacks, just like they do Latinos. So you should be getting hired, because he's fired a lot of people already. So be going to get your application as soon as you can. State of Illinois building, Central Management Service, and tell them you came to get your African American Employment Plan to go to work.
See that? Hey, I like that. I like that. There's so many people that are out of jobs that oh man, you know, that's something that you have to really think about.
And people got to be paying attention. So that's one of my hats. And what else I'm doing? So what we're doing is the model that we have with the Bob Biz Center. We're going to have another one on 79th right before Ashland, and so that'll be another Bob Biz 3. But what we're doing is, so 79th is the Blacknificent, and then 75th is Black Wall Street District, which is legislated in Springfield by Senator Trotter before he left, that from State Street to almost South Chicago on down is Black Wall Street, Chicago, Black Wall Street, 75th Street. So then our next corridor is 51st Street, and then you move on down to 47th Street. That's Mark Allen Black Wall Street, International, Black Wall Street, International, and then you move down 35th Street where there's Philip Jackson with Black Star Project. They're right in that corridor. So these are economic corridors, and that we're working with Brother Harold Lucas of the Bronzeville Tourism, who's doing this connected dots between these corridors and historical tourism.
Right.
And so then we move on to the west side, Malcolm Crawford with the and Sankofa and their African American business group from Austin to Chicago, Austin to Cicero, is called Soul City Quarter. So they bought up most of everything between Laramie and Austin, black owned.
Wow.
So it's called Soul City. So we have these economic anchors, and so we're just waiting for the mayor to do the right thing. She can't give $1 billion to Lincoln Yard and then say we're gonna give $278 million to 10 communities in 3 years to the black community. That's a little bad math,
right?
And that's not no money. That's chump change.
Yeah, yeah.
So we get people getting excited. That's not good money.
Uh-huh.
We need to be on all them quarters. We need $1 billion on the west and south side to revitalize our community. Since they're gonna do 78, they built a whole new zip code downtown.
Oh, wow.
And we've been here all our life, zip code out, and now we started with 270-something million. Lincoln Yard started with $1 billion, and you know how much it's going to cost to do a whole new zip code. We playing games. We begging at the table like Lazarus.
Yeah, that is so true.
So, what else I'm doing that you might need to know? So I'm involved in that, and then I'm having a big event. Well, we're having a big event coming up soon. Mm-hmm. Then I'll go back to my museum. I didn't get a chance to talk about Dr. Smith in the museum.
Let's get
but
on
let me do that and I'll come back to
okay.
the November 30th Buy Black campaign.
Oh, all right.
So it's going to be Buy Black Saturday, so I'll talk more. But I mentioned Reverend Dr. Charles Smith of the African American Heritage Museum. I've been with him over 45 years.
Uh-huh.
He actually taught me and mentored me. He's like a man of God, veteran. He's built 2 museums outside his home, one in Aurora and one in New Orleans, and with no institutional art training in his life.
Oh, okay.
So I was his market, his brander. I was the guy that got everybody to come to the museum. So he's now one of the world-renowned folk artists in the world. Mm-hmm. He's never had one day of art class. And the Kohler Foundation out of Wisconsin purchased almost 6 tractor trailers of his work out of a yard. That's how much work he had. Then he's in Hammond, Louisiana. It's a full sculpture museum of recycling art. And it tells the story. So I thank him for teaching me the history of where we are that allows me to do community organizing here. I'm also related to, let me slow down. So the museum and Dr. Smith, I got so much on my mind. But Dr. Smith, that museum gave me my history for me to do the work I'm doing now. He's a great man, and he's 80 years old, strong in ox. And he's just been fantastic with history and information.
Wow.
So I actually quit teaching in Aurora to go work for him because I asked, what's wrong with black people? And he shared with me, he said, you want the truth? I said, yeah. He said, all the black leaders you think is great,
right,
forget about it. All the black preachers you think is great, forget about it.
Right.
And all the people that because if you look around your community, you can say nothing happened. When Martin Luther King got killed on that balcony, the black movement, black leadership stopped. We lost it that day. And we have not seen it since then. And it's a shame before God
but
that we're in this
building
condition.
Up these churches like crazy and asking for all sorts of donations.
Well, you know, the church needs to be saved.
Yeah.
See, the black church needs to be saved, and you can get mad about it, but you can't have 300 black churches in Inglewood and death and mayhem everywhere. God can't be seen. Mm-hmm. And you can't have it in every community, so not just Inglewood, but they happen to have 300.
Right.
You can't have all these mega churches, over 30-some thousand churches, and we only have one black bank that we can call. Liberty Bank just lost a bank in Lawndale, and they moved to up near with Bill Winston up there where he is, and then the new bank, the Ghanaian bank. Well, these brothers had to come from another country to save us. That looks crazy in a city where we got a two-term mayor, two-term president. We got all these millionaires here. Mm-hmm. We lost Salt Sheen. We lost Johnny's Johnson. We lost every magazine. Defender had to move downtown and move back to the community. We lost 3-4 black banks. We got 150 schools closed. We got one black gas station on 151st and Halston and Phoenix, and one grocery store over in Maywood. Now you tell me where the black church is and all that. When all the women there fry chicken and bake and cook, the best cookers in the world. We don't own no chicken shack. We don't own no bake company. We don't own nothing.
This land is your land. This land is mine.